Hello survivors, this is Gazbeard. Welcome back to the Long Dark and a new week of videos. And we're still in the Forlorn Muskeg in the cave next to Hat Creek Falls. So we've just had a quick sleep to create a save point. And we're about to head out and head across via the shortwave radio tower to the other cave. It is just after lunchtime. We've got a bit of scent on us because we're carrying a reasonable amount of meat. We are half hungry, slightly thirsty, but I'm not going to worry about that. What I am more concerned about is we've got no charcoal with us. Oh, we do. Excellent. So we can get mapping, and let's just have a quick look at the map. Yeah, we definitely need, as soon as we come out of the cave, which is about here, we need to put a map on to get the cave on it, and then we've got to head around this way and down to the cave here. We could get off this map today, but we need to get mapping done, and that does take time. I've got to get the bow out ready. There's often a wolf just outside this cave. And just to recap, whoa, that looks foggy. That looks very, very foggy. Yeah. Let's see if it will let us draw a picture. Cannot map in low vis. Okay. I really want to get that mapping done. The problem with this is we could run into a wolf and not even know that they're there, but let's risk it. Let's see if the weather's going to clear for us. And this recording is the first one since they dropped the patch last week, which the hotfix, which they then had to hotfix because it broke things such as the filing cabinet at the Mystery Lake camp office. Now I am kind of running blind here because I'm a little bit unsure of the territory. I'm keeping that edge of map on my left. I'm sure we have cleared the lookout tower of loot. That's sticks. Now we need sticks because we've got no fire materials on us. Just gather all of these up. Need to be able to make at least a small fire. There's a bunch here.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Yeah, you're still under 40 kilos. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Now, I believe that's the radio tower over here on my right. I think. There's some more sticks. Let's have them. I really wish this fog had not turned up like this. Could really do with it clearing away. Up here, this should be the ridge where we start our drop down to the next cave. But quite often up here there is a deer carcass, I should say. There's certainly a campfire there, look. There's the deer carcass. It's got feathers all around it, so we'll have them. Well, it's got a feather. Looked like there was more from a bit further afield. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raid the charcoal out of this campfire. That got me another 3 charcoal, that's good. We're going to start a little fire next to this one. Will it let me use the magnifier? No, I didn't think so. We'll harvest the meat off this one in a second. We're also going to take the hide and guts from it and drop them at the next cave. This is all part of having stashes dotted around as we now start to get ourselves settled into running for the 1,000 days. Right, so have a look. He's got 1.5 kilos. We can use the knife. Takes 7 minutes per half kilo. So we're going to harvest these in half kilos again. We'll get those 2 on the fire. Minutes to cook, 40 minutes on the fire, that's fine. We'll get that last half kilo off it. Right, and 24 minutes to take the hide. The guts are 8 minutes each, we'll take both of them. Drop this one. "22 minutes to cook." Gives us time to get the hide at 24 minutes. Hope the fire doesn't go out. Fire did go out, but the meat was cooked before it did. So that's excellent. And there's another feather turned up over here. Right, now we want to start our drop down to the next cave. Time check, it's about 2 hours before dark. Now, as you can see on screen, the fog is seriously thick, and I'm going to cut across the slope to get to a slightly flatter area. Once I get to that slightly flatter area, we get more sticks to pick up. There's a few more here. There they are. Trying to keep an eye and an ear open for wolves. We will be carrying quite a strong scent, especially as we're carrying an uncured hide and guts, in addition to that piece of spoiled meat that we're going to use as a bait. Although, because of the other meat that we're carrying, what will more likely happen is that when we dab the number 3 key to drop a lure or a decoy, then it will drop one of the half kilos. Now the cave is roughly down that direction. There's a couple of pieces of fur here that I'm going to pick up. And we really got to stop using that hacksaw. And that enabled the weather to clear, which is marvellous. Very close to sunset now. I really would like to get more of the big firewood, but we daren't use the hacksaw anymore, and I've got to preserve the hatchet for fighting off wolves if they get close enough to attack us. We're heading up to this cave. We'll pick up more sticks as we go round. I knew I'd seen another one here. We're going to be very heavy laden as we go into the cave. We'll break that down by hand. We're very hungry, we're very thirsty. We're borderline on red stomach and red thirst meter. That's okay. We are close enough to the cave now that we can just focus on gathering the extra sticks and stuff we need, get into the cave, get settled down for an overnight stay here. And as I said, I can't harvest the big firewood as much as I would love to, because I am on the edge of completely losing the hacksaw due to its condition. Need to get it back to the camp office, get it on the workbench, get it repaired, pull it back up to full condition. So I'm just making use of every last moment of daylight to try and get as many sticks as possible before we enter the cave. And we'll be spending the night in here. And one of the things I'm noticing already is that there is coal in the cave. It's respawned, which is great because that'll give us just over an extra hour of fire per piece of coal. We're now at the severely overladen and slow dried down phase. Any more coal? No, only those 3 pieces. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the hide and guts here. One of the first things, I don't want to be carrying them around when we move on to the next phase. So that's a fresh deer hide, and we can then step over here and drop the guts. Those are the fresh ones. Leave them there. Now I know that the birch sapling, the maple saplings are not cured. Those are all cured. These are not. They're still green, but they're 97% cured. If we drop them in here tonight, then in the morning they may well be cured. They don't need very long to finish up. Yeah. Let's just get organised, mate. Right, there we go. We'll get the sleeping bag down there. Oh, come on. We did have a position here where we could lay it. That will have to do. We do need to eat now, so let's just do that. We'll start with the lowest condition bits of meat. We're carrying lots of meat. We can afford to be quite generous to ourselves with it. And we'll take a drink. Big old drink. There we go. Now we are carrying 3 kilos of fur, 3 bits of coal and 48 sticks, so we can get a good old fire going. With 2.4 litres of water there, we only need to make maybe one can, that is, a half litre, just to give us enough to get back to Milton. I don't want to eat any of this manufactured foods while we've got this meat on us. We're still carrying a bunch of cattails, which is good. So we've got nothing to craft, I believe, to pass the time, other than making some tinder or some bandages, which is a good question. How many bandages have we got? We've got 4. But how much cloth are we carrying? 5 pieces. That's for the snow shelter. So let's try and preserve those. Just check the condition of our clothes. Anything desperate? Not really. As long as we don't get attacked on the way back, our clothes are fine to get us home. They're in pretty good condition overall. I've been in a lot worse. This is an inner layer, so the fact that it's at 89%, the only thing that really worries me about that is that we're losing a bit of the heat from it. Losing 0.1 of a degree of warmth, 0.1 of a degree of wind protection. Everything else is as it should be. So let's get that fire up. Start with sticks. We're not going to use the magnifying glass indoors, we'll use a wood match.
Come on.
And there we go.
All right.
Right, let's pile a bunch of sticks on. And the only problem with this position is we can't tell if it's daylight or not. It's just getting dark out there, look. And the snow's starting to fall. Severe risk that that's going to turn to a major storm. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And if we check the time, it's about an hour after sunset. So we want to think about piling the fire up. There's an 8-hour fire straight away. If we add more sticks to it, that takes it up to about a 10-hour fire, which will take us through to just about sunrise. Let's put another 5 on, there's 10.5 hours. And oh, we need another 8 minutes before we can add that piece of coal. So, okay, that's no problem. We'll just wait for that. But while we're waiting for that, let's just eat supper, ready for bed. We've got 860 calories in us, which is enough to get us through till morning if we were to sleep immediately. We're not tired enough to sleep immediately. We do need to think about that. So what in fact we'll do is we'll pass time for 3 hours, get us a bit more tired, get us closer to midnight and as well to sunrise. Gives us a better chance of sleeping through to sunrise once we do lay down. There we are. Fires down to 7.5 hours. We'll add a piece of coal, gives us 8 hours 40. Which may well be enough. Let's try for an 8-hour sleep now. Oh, we need to eat before we do. 499 calories, yeah. So we eat another piece of meat. That's going to give us just under 1,000 calories. Take a drink of water. I know I've not made the water that I said I was going to make. We may not need it. 2 litres left. And that's pushed us under 40 kilos of weight. So let's have a look. Yeah, 973 is enough calories to get us through to sunrise. Let's push in an 8-hour sleep. And we're just doing things cautiously because the aim is to survive long term. It's not like we're pushing to reach an objective as fast as possible. Now, I would say that's daylight. Looks like daylight coming in the cave. Pick up the bedroll. Pick up the maple saplings.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
And we've got 40 minutes left on the fire. We can now, in fact, make that extra ½ litre of water that we wanted. And we'll just speed cook through that. Take it and pick up the can. There we go, the fire's dying away. And it looks like we've still got some fog out here, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. So that's good. And we need to eat before we go out because he is complaining, and he probably rightly so. He's both hungry and thirsty. So we're going to eat 2 of these bits of meat. Which will help to reduce our scent. Right, leaves us 2 litres of water. Coming out here we've got to watch because there's often a wolf over on that slope that we came down yesterday. Very lucky we didn't have one during the fog. And
looks like I survived another night.
yeah, he was a clever person, isn't he? Right, we'll have that stick. It's highly unlikely we're going to need the snow shelter before we get back. So we'll just have that stick. And there's a wolf across there, center of screen where the white dot is. And I think we actually want him to be in the open if he decides to make a go at us, because we want him to see us drop a decoy. I would of course prefer to avoid him completely, and we might be able to do that by going up around these rocks. I think, is it that might be this rock that we can get through. I'm not sure if we can get down on the other side of it though, that's the problem. Yeah, we can. I've lost sight of the wolf. Oh, he's away down there, that's good. We'll just stay high, we'll give him his space. As long as he's willing to stay away from us, we'll stay away from him. Oh, and we want to do a mapping from here. That's something we forgot again. You guys have really got to remind me to do these mappings. Yeah, you see we've missed out this big patch here. Part of that was due to the fog, but part of that was failing to do a drawing as we came out of the cave. Now, I don't want to get too far down here, but I do want to get these sticks. Now, at the moment, I'm not sure if we are safe from the Bears Patrol area. I do believe once we get past that fallen tree just up ahead, we will be safe from triggering the wolf. I believe I left some cattails on this pond. It would be nice to pick them up for taking back with us. I'm not seeing any. Looks like we got them all. I was sure I'd left some. No, doesn't look like we did leave some. That's okay. And what we can do is we can get a drawing done here. There we are. Get the bow out again. He can't be hungry already. He's just had a kilo of venison. Oh, there's a can there that we always miss when we come round. I'm only just touching the cans when I remember, because I'm just looking to see how many I can actually find. Oops. There's about 165 cans throughout the maps of the Long Dark. I don't know if there's an achievement or anything for finding them all, but it's worth trying to find out. Now we've got to watch for a wolf among those trees on the other side of the railway. Doesn't look like there's one there. Let's get these sticks and have another look. No. That's good. And we're almost back into the railway tunnel to head through to the camp office. Return the hoard that was part of the reason for our trip this week. And what we'll do is we'll just push through to the camp office, create a save point as we go in the door, and that'll be the end of today's episode. But that's going to take a couple of minutes, and there's always the possibility of wolves that we might have to have a fight with before we get there. So let's just see how we're doing. And that looks... oh, it's a rock. That rock gets me every time. That one about halfway up the railway track there. I always think that's a wolf. And there's been a few times coming along this part of the railway, having returned from either Broken Railroad or Forlorn Muskeg, where I've got onto this stretch of railway and I've got a little bit complacent and thought, nearly home, that's good, start relaxing, and bam, a wolf comes out of nowhere at me. So you do need to keep your wits about you coming along here. You can't afford to relax. No matter how pretty the game looks at this point, and it can look very, very pretty on a clear day. Even in the mist it's quite pretty. You need to be aware that there are wolves along this part of the railway, usually on the other side of the tracks, and that they are quite aggressive. Even in the lower difficulty games, they will come out of nowhere and get you. Right, so we've got two big bits of cedar here when we need firewood. I just thought I did pick up those maple saplings, didn't I? Yes, I did. That's good. So, I've no doubt that there's some among you that are watching that'll be thinking to yourselves, Gaz, you went the long way to get to the forge when you were in Forlorn Muskeg, and you went the long way to get back. Well, yeah, I did. Apart from the fact that I wanted to map that northern side and more or less failed because there's big gaps in the map, I also wanted to collect any saplings that were up on that side, and we've done quite well. We've got 3 maple saplings for making bows and a whole bunch of birch saplings for making arrows, because we can't guarantee that we're going to be finding ammunition for the rifle all the time. And what ammunition we do find for the rifle is probably best reserved for killing bears or mooses. Even though we've taken a moose down with the bow, that was on one of my live streams. And you can take a bear down with the bow, either a one-shot kill or wound him and have him run off and bleed out. But the rifle is a much more sure way to do it. And here we are, back at the office. Now I think those are 1 kilo slabs. Yes, they are. So the half kilos are on this side. So we'll drop that meat that we're carrying. There's only 3 pieces left. And it's good that we've got a bit of meat there. That means we don't have to immediately go out hunting. That's what, 2.5, that's 11.5 kilos. So it's about somewhere between 8 and 10 days worth of meat, depending on what we're up to. Alright, let's get back in. We'll create a save point there. And we'll sort all our gear out in the next one. But for now, thanks for watching. And while I'm putting the arrowheads away, let me remind you, check the video description please. You'll find down there links to all my other channels. You'll find a link to the Humble Bundle store where you can get your own copy of The Long Dark and help registered charities when you do so. You'll also find links to my loot store where you can get your Gazbeard mugs and t-shirts and things, and it all helps me to support the channel with all the costs that are associated with it, you know, computer upgrades, games, electricity and so on. Appreciate that. So I'll look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Please give the video a like, please hit that subscribe button. That doesn't cost you anything and it does help me immensely. So thanks for watching everybody, and as always from me, it's bye for now.